Welcome back to Speak Life, Danny's Decree of Hope podcast, where we bring encouragement for every season of your journey. I am your host, Danny, and today we're wrapping up our 3-week series called Hope in Hard Places. Now, over the past 2 episodes, we've talked about the way of difficult seasons and how to find strength when we feel like we have nothing left to give. But today, we're shifting our focus forward, because no matter what we've been through, God is not done with your story. Now, if you ever felt stuck in the past, if you struggled to believe that better days are ahead, this episode is for you. We're going to talk about how to move forward, how to embrace the hope that God has promised, and how to trust that your future is still in His hands. So take a deep breath, settle in, and let's speak life together. Welcome back. Now, when the future feels uncertain, one of the hardest things about walking through a difficult season is believing that things will get better. Maybe you've lost someone you love and you wonder how you're ever going to move forward. Maybe you've been through a long season of struggle and hope feels out of reach. It's easy to let the pain of the past keep us from seeing the promise of the future. But God doesn't want us to stay stuck in what was. He wants to lead us into what's next. Look at Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And in Isaiah 43:18 and 19, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Now these verses remind us that God is always moving us forward. Even when we can't see it, He is working behind the scenes, making a way where there seems to be no way. There have been times in my life when I struggled to see beyond my pain. Times when loss, disappointment, or grief made me feel like my best days were behind me. Now, when my dad was dying of cancer, I remember thinking, how do I move forward after this? I couldn't imagine what life would look like on the other side of that loss. And if I'm honest, there were moments when I didn't even want to think about the future because the present felt too heavy. But as time passed, God reminded me that hope isn't found in clinging to what was. It's found in trusting Him with what's to come. You see, He didn't erase the pain of losing my dad, but He carried me through it. And slowly, He began to show me that even in my grief, there was still purpose ahead. That's His plan for me. That His plan for me hadn't ended just because my dad's story on earth died. And the same is true for you. So how do we move forward in hope? If you're struggling to see a future filled with hope, here are a few things to remember. Release the past, but hold on to the lessons. You see, it's okay to grieve what you lost. Don't let it keep you from stepping into what's next. Trust that God can take even the hardest seasons and use them for something good. Romans 8:28 tells us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. Start looking for the new things God is doing. Sometimes we miss what God is trying to do in our lives because we're too focused on what's behind us. Ask Him to open your eyes to the new opportunities, relationships, and blessings He is preparing for you. And take small steps of faith. You don't have to have everything figured out. Just take the next right step. Maybe that means reaching out to someone for support, stepping out of your comfort zone, or simply choosing to trust God with tomorrow. And so I just want to encourage the listener today, if you're feeling stuck, if you're struggling to believe that there is still hope for your future, let me remind you, God isn't finished with you. He sees you, He knows what you've been through, and He still has a plan for your life. You may not see the whole picture yet, but that's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to trust the one who does. So today, I challenge you. Take a step forward. Pray and ask God to show you what he has next. Choose to believe that your best days aren't behind you and hold on to this truth. Hope is not just for yesterday. It's for today. It's for tomorrow. It's for you. So with that being said, I want to thank you for spending these moments with me today. And as always, if this episode has encouraged you, I'd love for you to do a few things. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review and a comment. And no matter where you listen, be sure to follow and share this episode with a friend and on your social media. You never know who in your circle needs to hear this message of hope today. Also, I love to hear from you in the comments. Has this message spoken to you? Have you had a season where you struggled to move forward, but God showed you he wasn't done with your story? Your testimony could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Remember, hope isn't just a feeling, it's a promise. And no matter what season you're in, God is still writing your story. So until next time, keep speaking life because your words have the power to bring hope.